We are living different moments in Portuguese politics. There are no more citizens excluded from democracy, and these moments we have to occupy all the spaces which we have the right to dispute. I think that in these moments we have to guarantee to people that we can have some kind of way of doing politics, and especially that institutions can be totally free of interests, financial interests, commercial interests, and only devoted to one common interest, which is the common good and the common will, and to put democracy again into the track which has been totally devastated over the last years with austerity policies. I think this is a crucial moment for that. And more than that, I think that I know Portugal very well, but I also know Portugal seen by outside, by the European institutions, and not only the European institutions, but also other international actors. And we need to guarantee that we keep democracy and sovereignty as a key principle of our own country and our own institutions. I think I can bring that, and I hope that I can make it. Is to make a political debate, to go as deeper as possible in this debate, and to dispute the presidency of the Republic. That means in the first stage to dispute to be the candidate with highest number of votes in the first round, and then being able to dispute the second round. The previous president was never the president of all the Portuguese people. He was always quite biased. He was always playing in the field of his own interests and of his friends' interests and of the financial markets. He was more concerned with that rather than with Portuguese people. So I would be, I think, the most constitutional president that Portugal ever had in terms of values, principles and political program. And honestly, after 10 years of this presidency, we need to have someone for the sake of the people and not for the sake of the markets, and willing to put into practice democracy in a full way, a complete form of democracy, not a biased one which excludes a lot of citizens from the capacity to participate in our political daily lives. Perhaps Hungary, because I would like very much to speak with Mr. Orban about a lot of things, especially those which put at risk our common coexistence in our common project. Of course, they put into risk our constitution, our sovereignty, and our democracy. And the President of the Republic has the power, for instance, to consult people, and after hearings in the Parliament to organize referendum. But mainly, I think it's a duty of President of the Republic to consult people, to let them know what is happening when it comes to TTIP or when it comes with other commercial agreements which endanger our common life and our democracy, and put into question even the very concept of the state and of democracy. So I'm not in favor of supranational institutions which are not elected or democratically controlled to take power in our lives. So it would be, of course, necessary to give the power to people. In democracy, the power is in the hands of the people, as it should be. Sometimes it is not, but I think it's the proper time to bring it back to the hands of the people. This special committee was started after the Lux Leaks scandal, but at the end we have discovered that it's not a question of Luxembourg only, it's a question of 23 member states within the 28. So we have a situation where what should not even exist is a rule. In times of austerity policies, as the main guideline from the European institutions, it should not only be illegal, but it should be immoral. It's immoral that the multinationals can have their special agreements in different countries and not paying taxes in the countries where they have their activity, where they produce their profits. That means that that's not an option for workers, that's not an option for small and medium enterprises. So what we see is that multinationals, for them, is like if Christmas is every day, all the time. So they have these special agreements, and we lose around 160 to 190 billion euros every year in taxes that should be paid in the places that these multinational corporations have their activity, and they don't pay it there. So we asked for an inquiry committee. Unfortunately, the majority of the parliament didn't agree with that, so we had a special committee. We didn't have access to the national documents. It's not by chance that out of the 13 countries which didn't provide national documentation, we can find either Luxembourg or the Netherlands. The Netherlands, for the Portuguese case, is quite clear because 19 of the 20 companies which are in our stock market for the index, they don't pay their taxes in Portugal, they pay it in Holland because of these special agreements. Although then they do a lot of campaigns asking for our proud of being Portuguese, but they don't even pay the taxes here. So this started with Lux Leaks. It's not a mere coincidence that the President of the European Commission is Mr. Jean-Claude Juncker. And it's not a mere coincidence that he put as his major flag transparency. So if he has nothing to just avoid to say, he shouldn't be out of scrutiny and responsibility. And I think that his mandate will be totally linked to the Lux Leaks, but mainly no one should be out of any kind of responsibility, mainly the President of the European Commission. I don't know how this will continue, what will be the follow-up, but I know that the behavior of Mr. Juncker was not a good behavior. He refused several times to go to our committee. At the end he came to the committee, but his explanations were far beyond to be any kind of convincing to the questions we are putting. So I think that in this moment he should not be in capacity of continuing as the President of the European Commission. The majority has decided that he should continue. As he decided to continue as well, that means that he needs to be totally transparent and he needs to give full information, and we need to stop immediately this huge inequality between big corporations and common citizens, workers and small and medium enterprises. because it's in the name of these taxes which are not paid and which don't contribute to the national public accounts in several countries, that then the European institutions come in and try to impose more austerity, additional taxes to workers, additional taxes to small and medium enterprises. This is quite unfair, and we need to stop this because this is killing the European project.